Welcome back to Country's Movies, everybody. Today it is time to go over all the movies that I saw in the month of May and review every single one of them. So I'm going to try and make this a little shorter because April was a dry month. It was only 3 movies, but I got that one past 8 minutes. So I'm going to try and shorten this one down. This is 8 movies. It's by far the biggest month we've had so far. So, yeah, let's get started. First up is the Cursive Law. That's kind of difficult to say, but, yeah. My opinion has gone down a little bit, but I think I find different values from this movie than a lot of other people. I'm a Christian, and I find different kind of perspectives to look at in this movie. So it gets a 68. I don't think it's necessarily that good of a horror movie, but its execution, it has some good scares, albeit cheap. So I thought it was well made for the most part. It had some pretty good acting, and overall it was just a pretty good film with a good message that I took home more than most people did. So next up is Escape Room. This one was extremely engaging, and it was definitely something. Compared to a lot of movies that get as low a score, as you see I gave it a 42, compared to a lot of movies that get this low a score, it's definitely engaging. Like, if you take Secret Life of Pets 2, which will be in June or July, I'm not sure, but that's neither here nor there. If you take a movie like Secret Life of Pets 2, that wasn't engaging, but this is definitely engaging. So it gets a higher score than it probably warrants because it was pretty bad, but it was ambitious and it was fun, and that's really all that matters for a movie of its kind of prowess, kind of what it's trying to be, its style. So next up is John Wick 3. This was my second favorite movie of the year for a while. I think it's one of the best of the franchise. Of course, all three are great in my opinion. But yeah, it gets a 91. Keanu Reeves is fantastic. So is Halle Berry. Really, the entire cast is great, and it's just so fun. It's extremely vibrant. It's probably the most colorful of the franchise, which is really something you love to see. You love to see them branching out and getting past what they really love to do, because it could get repetitive, but the fact that they've made this action trilogy, all the films are great in their own respective ways. The first one was kind of the fresh start, or the freshness of it. The second one was pretty plot-driven. This one, I won't say character driven, but it has more character moments, and it's more vibrant. And so it's an overall great movie, awesome watch, super fun, and yeah, it's fantastic. So Brightburn, you get to 62. It's alright. I mean, the acting's pretty good. David Denman is very good from The Office. That's primarily why I liked him in it, but the acting is convincing, and there wasn't a ton not to like, but really the big holes were big, and yeah, it executes on its horror very well, but it doesn't do much else. Its plot is derivative. It takes this interesting concept and executes, I won't say poorly, but it's not as good as it could have been, and the plot was lackluster. And so, yeah, I get 62. It's pretty average. I'd still consider it slightly good, but still average. Next up is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, I find myself, one of the things that I like to kind of brag about, I guess, is that I don't really suffer from recency bias or stuff like that. But one thing I have discovered, one thing that I'm trying to die down on, is that I do have kind of actor bias, if that makes any sense. I tend to like a movie more if it has actors I like in it. So when you get Millie Bobby Brown, who I absolutely love from Stranger Things, and Vera Farmiga from The Conjuring, that's a recipe for something I'm really gonna love. So it's definitely gone down because I've realized that it's kind of punctuated by some sloppiness. Its plot is lackluster, but the action is exhilarating, and it's overall a really fun watch. So it warrants about a 73, somewhere in that range. That's what I gave it. So moving on to Aladdin. As you saw, I'll link the video up in the top right. The Lion King kind of punctuated a year, kind of bookended a year of lackluster Disney live-action reboots. I haven't seen Maleficent, and I don't think Mulan comes out this year. I think that's next year. But yeah, all three Disney live-action films from this year were painfully mediocre. Dumbo was alright. I mean, you can look at the March movie reviews for that. Aladdin was fine, like in this. And, The Lion King was disappointing, but in the sense of that's probably the best thing that they're remaking. But, yeah, back to Aladdin. The music was fun, and Will Smith is exhilarating, but other than that, it doesn't really have that many redeeming qualities. It's alright. I mean, it's a Disney movie, so you can't really say it's bad, but for its standards and just for the overall style it's trying to go for, it doesn't really hit the mark. So, next up is Detective Pikachu. Now, though I gave this a 55, I enjoy this a good deal more than Aladdin. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is fantastic as Pikachu, and it's very fun. Now, this one definitely suffers in quality a lot more than Aladdin, but what it lacks in quality it makes up for in just pure fun. It's extremely fun. It's funny. You can't underrate Ryan Reynolds' dirty humor. And as a whole, it's extremely fun to watch. And while I can't say that it was necessarily good, it is very mediocre in terms of quality. Not quantitatively, but you can just see that it's fun, and it's definitely a good thing to rent on Redbox. That would be extremely fun for all the family to watch. So, the last movie in May that I watched was Fighting with My Family. Now, this was a February release, so don't get on me about that, but yeah, I watched it, kind of after it came out. I rented it, and it was very good, a lot more than I expected. I considered making a video at the beginning of the year about movies that were going to be trash. I didn't do that, partially because it would be extremely, I don't know, derogatory towards these films, but Fighting with My Family was number one. I thought the prospect of it was absolutely garbage. And it took everything from the trailer that I thought would be bad and turned it into a very good movie. It's fun. It has redeeming family moments. It hits its emotional beats, which is kind of surprising. And as a whole, it's very, very good. And it's compared to what I thought it was going to be. So maybe the score's a bit high, but compared to what I thought it would be, which would be low 40s, upper 30s at the most, 78 is about in the same range. So, yeah, that's it for the May movie reviews. Make sure you subscribe to Coach's Movies for all the fun end-of-the-year stuff and really end-of-the-decade stuff that we'll have coming out towards the end of the year. Watch out for the CRP Oscar nominations coming up at the end of November. Thanks so much for watching. Always remember to keep God number one. Have a good day, and I will see you next time.